What's the best thing about Henley?
Look at this. I mean, it's just beautiful. I come to feed the swans most days, and the swans have dirt all over their noses, and you can't go really swimming in here because it's really not good for you.
Do you mind me asking who you might be voting for in this election?
Well,
definitely not Tories.
there's a lot of people would like to see the Tories out of Henley.
The companies that are pushing literal shit excrement into the water.
The River Thames pollution, totally unacceptable.
Needs change.
It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks.
We've seen stoma bags, we've seen sanitary products, we've seen poo tide marks on swans, we've seen dead fish, we've seen everything.
We've been campaigning tirelessly for clean water status in the Thames.
Have you had any people on the campaign trail down here?
Well, you'd have thought we would, wouldn't you? You'd have thought they would have engaged with us as we're the biggest campaigners in this area. And the Lib Dem candidate is just useless. Yes, he doesn't even turn up to meetings. In the last 2 years particularly, we've seen a decline in water from being clean and clear to it being very murky, all the greenery covered in sewage fungus, unhealthy and sad looking.
And have you ever got sick from the river?
Yep.
How often?
Very badly once, yeah. So there's one stretch, I won't name where it is, that I would never swim, not for love nor money, yeah.
4 times in the same stretch.
And whose fault is that, would you say?
After 35 years of privatisation, what we've realised is the whole experiment has been a scam. This reality of our rivers, it's almost like a metaphor for the decline of the NHS, the collapse of our schools, our potholed roads, our crumbling social services. So I think it really is a very powerful symbol. It's a tangible example of how the country has been sort of in a managed decline after 14 years of Conservative government. And the key point of bringing a tow float is to cover the lumps and bumps.
Yes. This is how
Jolie, get out of there! It's for you wouldn't know what a lump or a bump is. For fuck's sake.
Right, mate, I'm giving you a sign. Do you want multiple signs? Do you want a festoon the house? I'm not a career politician, really. I've joined the party because I believe that we really need action on climate change. And I'm really working across the whole area, really, to kind of reclaim our rivers and reinstate some of the bathing areas that we've lost over the past 30 or 40 years. This is the glamorous life of a Green Party campaigner. Don't put that on.
We're finding a lot of people who are undecided. Difficult to tell whether they're genuinely undecided or whether they're just choosing not to say. The number one thing, and it's a cliche, but it's absolutely true, roads and potholes. That is what I hear almost, every day, and probably 70% of the doors I knock on, it's potholes.
We've spoken to people who've been very sick from swimming, and they seem to be blaming the Conservative government for that.
That concern is not a political issue. I swim in the river. I've been a rower, and I love the river too. So I think that is clear that is a universal concern. And funny enough, I was speaking to the founder of a company that promotes swimming in the river here. He's very concerned that all this discussion about the pollution in the Thames is really undermining the status of Henley and the status of swimming in Henley as well. We need not to be too fearful of the pollution in the water.
Oh, hello, how are you? My name's Freddie. I'm the Lib Dem candidate for the general election.
What are the things that are coming up on the doorstep?
State of the NHS and, of course, sewage as well.
One was a definite no, and I think 4 were yes. One was somebody who said they wouldn't normally vote for the Lib Dems, but they wanted to vote for Freddie.
It would be a big deal if we won the seat. People here are ready for change. That's the message we're hearing on the doorstep. It's neck and neck with the Conservatives. That's what all of the polling is saying, and so we need every vote we can to get us over the line.
I was in the garden once and I heard some cyclists going by saying, they don't need a food bank around here, and I wanted to yell past saying, well, poverty's everywhere.
People who just seem to fall through the gaps. I think people who are struggling in a rural community are much more isolated. You're very reliant on public transport, which is very difficult here and expensive.
Really, it shouldn't be a case that there's this much food poverty. It's a problem everywhere. So.
It has affected several people at Roycliffe's getting ill, including myself. I caught cryptosporidium a couple of years ago. That was the thing that first brought it to my attention. Nothing has been done about in recent years. In fact, it's got worse. We've had 105% more spills this year than the previous year. At the meeting on Tuesday, both the motion of no confidence and the motion calling for nationalisation had cross-party support. This is not a party political thing of any form. This is about doing the right thing for the river and the people we represent.
We're also seeing increased temperatures over the summer. Oh, how am I going to cool down? Oh, I'm going to go take a dip in the Thames. Lovely, it's right on my doorstep. Oh no, I'm not, because it's going to be full of poo and sewage. I'm going to get sick, and it's disgusting. It really is. So if you look at this constituency, it's been a Conservative safe seat for 100 years. But it's great that we're seeing that this is turning into kind of an unsafe seat.